What's up, guys? Here to give my thoughts on the David Price versus Tony Thompson fight. David Price gets knocked out in the second round. Um, Obviously, this is a pretty big deal, man. A lot of people have been overhyping David Price. It's not to say that the guy didn't have skill. A lot of people are going to say, oh, well, David Price is a bum. They're going to get really down on the guy. But at the end of the day, I mean, David Price didn't ask for the hype, but it came. And a lot of people were really hyping this guy as the next guy to beat the Klitschko's. And once again, my thoughts on this are people really jump the gun in boxing, man. Boxing is not easy. Um, there's just so many different factors in boxing. Aside from having the skill, you could be really offensively gifted, but have no defense. We've seen this before. You can be really offensively gifted, but have no chin. It's just all part of the game, and I feel like people begin to hype up fighters so quick. And all I say is, and I say this with everyone, let's see you beat someone. Let's see you build a resume that's respectable. Let's see you beat the best out there, or at least top-notch competition, before we start throwing accolades at you. Guys like Canelo Alvarez, you know, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. So I'm not really gonna get really down on David Price. He lost. Yes, he was overhyped, and I really don't understand just from what Even if David Price had a better chin than what he obviously does, I really don't understand why people thought this was the type of guy who was going to beat the Klitschko's, because in the ring he was just really stiff, man. He was really stiff, and at the end of the day, I just don't see why people thought he was at the caliber to beat the Klitschko's. Maybe it was the power, but obviously people didn't really consider the type of guys that he was really knocking out. I mean, he was knocking out people he was supposed to knock out. Um, you know, is he done? I'm not going to sit there and say David Price is finished, because obviously the guy could come back. But I feel like he finds himself in a situation where I think eventually the guy will get knocked out again at some point. And the question is out, will he ever be able to beat top-notch competition? Because he's going to face guys who are a lot stronger than Tony Thompson, who got a lot more power. I mean, what makes this really, really bad for David Price is that Tony Thompson was so out of shape. I mean, he looked the worst he's ever looked in his career. I mean, the guy looked like he didn't belong in the ring. He looked like somebody who, was just literally pulled out of the audience, and gloves were put on him, and he was able to knock Price out. That being said, obviously, this is still a boxer, so I'm not saying that Price lost to a bum, but you lost to a guy who was in his late 40s who was really out of shape. And you didn't just lose, you got knocked out. Really bad look for David Price. But I'm also going to take this time to really talk about something else really quickly. And this goes back to me asking the question, why do some of these boxers not step up to the plate and take certain fights? Why don't they step up to the plate and take certain fights? Now I understand Tyson Fury is in a great position. I understand the business logic. I understand he's right there on the cusp of getting a Klitschko shot. I understand now that I've even heard, that he might be trying to fight Kubrat Pulev. If he does that, I got tremendous respect, for Tyson Fury for stepping up to the plate and doing that. But that being said, once again, I watched another fighter who passed up on a golden opportunity, and I know Tyson Fury has got to be saying, that could have been me. That could have been me to be the guy to expose David Price. And this is what I say, man. Guys should just step up to the plate and stop playing this game of not wanting to fight certain fighters, or waiting for a fight to maximize to its full potential. Just get in the ring and take a fight, because stuff like this can happen. And I think this fight will hopefully really send some shockwaves around boxing to where people really start to question the business decisions that they make, and they realize that sometimes the best business decision out there is manning up and taking a fight. Sometimes that's the best way to go. Man up, take the fight. You know, people want to see the fight. People want to see Fury versus Price. Make it happen, because now you really might not ever get the chance. Who's to say Price will ever be the same? We don't know yet. So that being said, there's a huge fight that you were going to get paid a lot of money for, and that would have been really big. And Tony Thompson stole your thunder. So those are my thoughts on this, man. Um, very interesting, man. You guys, let me know what y'all think about this David Price being knocked out. What are your thoughts? Can he bounce back? Will he bounce back? Let me know what you think.